couple weeks back, I put a video up showing what you can do to Rev 1, Rev 2, and Rev 3 Blues Junior to make the output tubes run cooler and last longer. I mentioned in that video that I had been told by other techs that Fender had changed that. They had fixed that part of the circuit. Well, a Blues Junior 4 just came in. Very nice of them to do that. Had a busted input jack, otherwise fairly new amp. I changed out for its Switchcraft L12A. That won't be breaking anytime soon. And I noticed that, yes, indeed, they had changed it. Instead of 33K and 22K, which set the bias way the hell too hot, and the bias voltage with that setting was negative 10.6 volts, which correlates with everything else in the amp to idle of about 120% of what the output tubes are rated for. You don't want to idle over 70%. They were about 110, 120 in most Blues Juniors. Well, they changed it from 33K and 22K to 33K and 27K. So is it fixed? No, it's a step in the right direction. Changed the voltage from 10.6 to about negative 11.9. And as a result, instead of the tubes idling at 110, 120%, they idle about 90%. So better, go Fender, yay, you're learning slowly. You're not there yet, but you're beginning to get the idea. So on this Blues Junior 4, I put another 82K in parallel with the 33K on R51. The same value works for a different reason because of complications I'm not going to get into here. And with that, the bias went from negative 11.9 volts to negative 13.8 volts. And with negative 13.8 volts, the plate voltage is like 324, is that right? Yeah, 324 on the plate, so that's a great place to be for EL84s. The tubes are idling now at about 58% idle, which is very nice. 58% idle dissipation. Different pairs of tubes will idle slightly differently there. You're going to be well under 70 with most. You're going to be well over 50 with most. You're going to be pretty much in the sweet spot. The amp still sounds great. But the output tubes aren't going to catch on fire. Not only will your output tubes last longer, less likely to burn, literally burn the output tube socket board. It's very common for these things just to come in looking like charcoal. Now, the input jack has been changed. The bias has been made sane by the addition of one resistor in parallel. If I were pulling the board again, I would swap that out. And I'll tell you what value to change that to. I think it's a 29K. I'll confirm that in just a moment. The only thing left that can really go wrong on this amp, besides the flimsy plastic molded speaker cable plug combo thing, the pots aren't the most rugged, so don't drop it or hit them hard. The IC brand filter caps will fail some point in the next 5 years or so, probably. They just have a tendency to do that. And for whatever reason, let me see if they changed that on this version. The Blues Junior often has 1 in 4006 diodes for the rectification. Those can often fail. Let me see if they changed that. Let me do the math on that resistor I'm talking about. All right, nope, still the 1 in 4006. So these, for whatever reason, Fender saved the wrong half a penny on those. 4007s are better. But the 4006s don't always fail, so maybe the owner of this amp will get lucky. And if you don't want to put a resistor here in parallel, you can just change R51 to a 24K and life will be good. See my video about a week ago about how to keep these things from humming due to proximity of the blue primary wire to the ribbon cables. Not all hum is caused by that. You can also have hum if the the coupling caps are failing or if the output tubes are mismatched or one's drawing too much current. But this is always something to be mindful of. They're nice sounding amps. It's a little 15 watt 1x12 with reverb, takes pedals pretty well. It's a shame that they just refuse to set the right bias in these things. And I don't know what they're thinking. No tech I know knows what they're thinking. I mean, we're all grateful for the steady stream of income because Fender refuses to fix the same flaws in models that have been out since 1990 something. But, from the owner player's perspective, it's very frustrating having to keep buying the same amp again and again and again. You can tell Fender, but they don't care.